Sales for the month of March increased 34% compared to a year ago, coming in at more than $6.1 billion. Tim Culpan from Bloomberg Opinion joins me now for analysis. Tim, just break down these numbers for us, would you?
Well, it's a big number, $6 billion just for the month. But for the whole quarter, more than $18.8 billion. Now, that's actually slightly ahead of their own guidance. They guided 18 to 18.8. So a little bit ahead, which is very, very nice. It augurs well for a good year for TSMC. The chip industry has been very, very strong over the last year. But in fact, TSMC sales fell last year, mainly because things like iPhones and other mobile phones were not doing well. AI has been the area that's really picked up for them. Nvidia, of course, is a huge client for them. AMD is another big client. Ironically, Intel is a competitor, but also a client. Intel actually outsources some of their best chips to TSMC for manufacturing. So there's a lot of chip demand in what we call high-performance computing. That's the massive server farms that are built and operating to build AI models for all of these companies around the world who are very excited about that. And that's really going to be the driver for this year. And the first quarter looks like a really, really good start for TSMC.
Because, of course, we also saw Intel unveiling its new AI accelerator to try and challenge Nvidia. What's the sort of ripple effect for TSMC?
That's really good news for TSMC, whichever way you look at it, because some of those chips will probably end up going to TSMC to be manufactured. And if they're not, then AMD and Nvidia will just have to double down and go back to TSMC with the latest designs and really prompt TSMC to churn them out for them as well. So this kind of AI arms race, while TSMC is building the weapons for the AI arms race, everybody's going to need to turn to them at some point. So yes, Intel comes out with a new chip, fantastic. I think TSMC would welcome that.
And then the good news doesn't stop for TSMC. Of course, yesterday we also saw them winning a load of grants and loans from the US government. How significant is that for TSMC, but also for the broader chip-making industry?
Well, TSMC is not going to say no to $6.6 billion in grants. There's another $5 billion, which is really just a sweetener. It's a loan that the US government is going to offer, but it's a loan, so they're going to have to pay it back. So it really doesn't count as the grant. The $6.6 billion compared to the $65 billion TSMC is expecting to spend in Arizona over the next few years sounds like a lot of money. It's really a drop in the bucket. And the thing is, they don't automatically get that number. They've got to keep hitting various phases of contracts with the US Department of Commerce and Treasury to say, hey, you've got to churn out this many chips at this time schedule. If they miss any of that, they won't get all of the money. So it's dependent on them hitting a lot of targets over the next few years. If they do execute, they could get up to $6.6 billion. But again, that is not a lot compared to the massive, massive expenditure they're putting in to Arizona. And it is going to be good for the rest of the industry. Intel is also, expanding in the US. Samsung, the other big chip maker, is also expanding in the US. So overall, it's very, very good for the US chip ecosystem. But we need to see how it's going to play out over the next few years, because engineers are much more expensive than you get in Korea or in Taiwan. So the cost of making the chips will be a lot higher. And clients like Apple, Nvidia, AMD are going to have to wear that cost.